When my friend bought the new Redmi Note 9 Pro, I was extremely intrigued in testing its cameras, but there were restrictions at the Noida-Delhi border. So I waited for a week for them to ease down, and when they didn't ease down after even a week, I wrapped myself up and hopped onto my bike and made this video. Actually, I made the video right after I got the phone and took many shots and videos on it. And now because I am here, here's the Note 9 camera review. Hey everyone, Mukul here. There is a primary camera on the phone with an ultra-wide camera and a macro camera. Also a depth sensor which I don't even care for. The primary sensor is at 48 megapixel and with pixel binning can produce 1.6 micrometer pixel sized images. So the low light capabilities of the phone should be good. Let's start with daylight pictures first, as the day comes before the night and night comes after the day, but there's evening somewhere in between of them. This first shot was taken from primary camera with auto HDR on. The processing on the cropped area of the picture looks a little heavy, but no major complaints here. This picture was taken at 2x zoom mode, and as you can see in the cropped shot, the details suffer massively as compared to the standard lens shot. It however loses the extra processing of saturation over the picture. The ultra wide shot is just fine like many other phones, but the overall dynamic range is maintained well on the shot. This shot is from the terrace, so whole square of terrace, and the same sort of pattern repeats in these pictures too. First being more vibrant and ultra wide being the most dull. And the obsession here with the dish TV is something I don't really get though. In this shot, the primary sensor actually does good to calm down the sun, but in the processing of doing so, it kinda darkens the hell out of those pigeons. Look at them so happy together, pooping all over the place. On this 2x zoom shot, because I cut the sky to make the pigeon frame more in focus, the frame lit up more. And as we all know, the sun goes up during sunset. This shot tested the dynamic range of the primary sensor. Be my guest and judge the shot yourself. But then, as we know, the sun also knows how to drive itself, so instead of going up, it decided to move towards right, as it was really loving being shot at. But yeah, this is just another example of how the color profiles of all three shots varies. So as you would have already noticed that in each and every shot, the levels of color processing changes heavily. The standard lens shot was most vibrant and bright, and as we reached the ultra wide shot, it became a little dull. The macro shot was impressive though. The processing on this one didn't feel too harsh. A job well done by the sensor. And this goddamn actor who just flew right after this shot shows how decent the quality of macro shots are from the sensor. Don't expect flagship grade quality and processing, but it isn't bad. Also, the flash actually helped retain more details in this case. The front camera was great, but it did show signs of over-processing all over it. I mean, the sharpness on the cropped image isn't natural, but it's fine nonetheless. And you would also notice as soon as I changed the portrait mode on the front camera, the skies just flipped to being white rather than blue. But then when I moved a bit and took the shot again, they were blue again. So I told the sky to quit playing games with my heart and its color correction. Here are some video samples from the phone. This is how the video quality is at ultra wide, and I right now personally believe that the stabilization is quite epic. It's really good. This is how the video quality is at the standard lens at 4K resolution. The stabilization is fine. I think the ultra wide was looking quite more stable because it being an ultra wide sensor. And this is how the video quality is at 2x. I think when you are at 2x mode, you can't really change modes between any of the previous examples I just shared. And this is how the video quality is from the front camera at full HD 30 fps. It only has 720p 30 fps and 1020p 30 fps. The quality of mic was actually pretty good. I was impressed by it. And having a 4K capable camera on the phone isn't a bad thing to have too. Unless you have not experienced editing 4K videos on a 5 years old machine. The slow-mo shots were actually impressive, as you can see here. The 120 FPS can take 1080p footage, but the 240 and 960 FPS can only take it at 720p. Also, at 960 FPS, the phone will automatically decide when to initiate the slow-mo framing at the end of the clip automatically, and you can't really customize that later. It was not completely dark yet, but I took some more shots to test the camera. Under more extreme low light conditions, this bulb just aced it by saying, "F you, I ain't dark myself." But I gotta be honest, I was so impressed with this close-up shot. This shot was also quite good, but the night mode on the right was way more sharper than the standard mode shot. The night mode also helped in achieving a decent shot here. The ultra-wide being ultra-wide took a poor picture in this comparison. The 2x optical was definitely better than the ultra-wide though. In this shot, it was again apparent that somehow the processing of poor lit shots is way better in night mode than the standard mode. Not just for capturing light, but in keeping the picture sharp and clean too. The same was again proven in these shots too. The plant was way sharper in night mode. Literally. And as the night was even nightier, the night mode shot again excels and proves how good the sensor and MI's processing of night mode truly is. I gotta be honest with you. This phone's camera in low light with night mode has really impressed me for the pictures. This ultra wide shot, let's just not discuss it, okay? Even a portrait shot like this was possible with some indirect light on the subject. The subject was quite happy, as you can see. Thanks for the thumbs up, dear subject. On this last shot, we took the risk of snapping these pictures without over masks on. So if you don't see any video from me in the future, this is probably why. The quality of the picture is just fine. I won't say it was able to process much details very well, but it wasn't too bad too. Well, I guess this is why there's a Note 9 Pro Max variant out there too with a higher megapixel size sensor on it. I would like to mention there is no night mode on the front camera though, so that's a bummer. Hope they do release in a software update in the future. And here are some low light video samples. So it's super dark right now, and this is how the video quality is at 4K 60 FPS. But I think you will be viewing it at 30 FPS obviously. So yeah, the video performance is like I am challenging it a lot right now, and it's okay in such kind of extreme low light conditions. So not much to complain here, but yeah, it could have been better as I've seen in other phones. So right now I've switched on a single bulb there, and this is all the indirect lighting you can see. And there are some elements visible now. The phone is having a hard time focusing, but apart from that, I would say you would definitely need at least a single light source when you are recording videos in low light. And this is how the video quality is in ultra wide, and I can hardly see anything. So this is how the video quality is from the front camera, and as I move a little far from the bulb, you can see and judge how the video is behaving. Now you can hardly see me. Now I can hardly see myself. So yeah, the video capabilities in low light is quite average, but apart from that, very good phone. The slow-mo from the front camera can record up to 720p, and even when I took these shots in low light, they were quite impressive in terms of quality. Well, that was a lot of work. So overall, I am really impressed with what all the cameras on the Note 9 Pro do. I'm actually so impressed that I almost don't want to tell you guys that the camera app kinda kept crashing every now and then during my few hours with the phone. Well, I guess that's just another epic feature of MIUI. But apart from that, and it being weaker when it comes to videos in low light, the camera is just epic. All the shots from the rear camera are processed perfectly, though they all have different color profiles on them. But why does it matter? Are you really going to shoot avatar from the phone? Nope. You just want to take cringy pictures from the phone like many of us. For the price at which this phone comes at, it's definitely passed my camera tests. Only if the videos could have been a little bit better and ultra wide just performed a bit better in low light, that would have been an advantage, but you don't get everything in everything you purchase. Do leave a like and sub and throw some bells on the video if the video helped you. I will be posting the purchase links of the phones in the description below. Until the next lockdown video, that's all for today. MewBot out.